Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Kilos and Cosplay. My name is Sydney, and today we are starting a new series on my channel called the Monthly Manga. So every month I'm going to be randomly picking 2 or more mangas to read and then do a review on at the end of the month. So I'm going to be deciding, is it bold and brash, or does it belong in the trash? I want to expand my world of culture. Or trash. It's all one and the same. What will make this like a random kind of manga choice is I'm going to be seeking either some of my friends who know absolutely nothing about anime, manga, any of that type of stuff, and I'm gonna have them randomly pick things just kind of based on what they think looks cool or something maybe they even think I was just interested in. Also gonna give them a little guidance so I don't end up with like things I completely know already a ton about, hate, or already own. Then there's gonna be a bucket that I'm gonna have like a bunch of different like papers in to kind of help guide my decision. So for example, there could be pick a horror manga or pick a adult manga, because that's also something I've been quite interested in and think would be nice spicy taste to add to my collection. So I really don't have any friends that watch anime except for like 2, so I may also do where I have them suggest a few and we can go from there. Alright, so to kickstart this series, I asked one of my good friends to help me pick out some manga. So, I'll go ahead, get started. Here we have Benny. Benny, what do you know about anime?
I know absolutely nothing about anime.
Are you ready to pick out some wonderful manga?
I'm very ready. I'm so ready. I'm gonna pick the best.
We're gonna like steer you away from like generic BS, but
yeah, I like to go for more like the deep stuff that really appreciates the art and stuff like that.
Them anime titties, is that what we're going for today?
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it like out loud or anything, but like
that's really what you know, a man of culture would pick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alright, you ready to go do it? Explain yourself.
Yeah, so this one we're doing because of the cover. We've got some like very obvious like intensity going on here.
What drew you to that one?
The thing that I liked about this one is I can't really tell what he's up to yet, and I want to find out.
You're interested?
Yeah.
All right, let's explain this one.
It's not what you think. Yeah. It's the title more than anything.
Wasn't the 2 things on?
I think no, it's just I don't know, I feel like any way you say this, like no matter which word you like emphasize, it means something different.
I mean, I guess. So before we get into actually discussing the mangas, I want to go over the like criteria I will be kind of rating it on. So we'll be looking at how interesting the story is. Did I enjoy it or did it bore me? Think it'll get an anime adaptation, or if it does, will I be watching that series? My overall rating. So the first manga that we will be going over is Spy Family. The synopsis for Spy Family is: Master Spy Twilight is unparalleled when it comes to going undercover for dangerous missions for the betterment of the world. But when he receives the ultimate assignment to get married and have a kid, he may finally be in over his head. Not one to depend on others, Twilight has his work cut out for him, procreating both a wife and a child for his mission to infiltrate an elite private school. What he doesn't know is that the wife he has chosen is an assassin and the child he adopted is a telepath. I like this manga for the same reason I like my men. Because it's cute, funny, and full of action. The main character, Twilight, is a spy, obviously, but he is a spy for some pure reasons. He just wants the world to be a better place. He remembers how he was sad when he was a kid. He just wants us to be a great place for people to grow up. So the premise of this one is he just needs some information on a man that rarely makes public appearances except for at his kid's school, which happens to be a prestigious school for only the rich. And it's kind of being rumored that's where some bad meetings get held. Twilight has only 7 days to pretty much create a family, create a whole new life. But he first goes to an orphanage, and it's like the shadiest orphanage. Like, this dude's like straight up, you just take a kid, we don't have to do paperwork, I literally don't care. I'm just like, so at first he's not sure about any of them. Bringing a girl named Anya, and she's reading Twilight's mind, and they're like, well, I need like a 6-year-old, and you know, she needs to be able to read and write. So she's like, I'm 6, I can do this. And since it's so undocumented, the foster parent was like, you're 6 already? Sure. She pulls out a little crossword puzzle, and she reads Twilight's mind for all the answers, and then writes it down, and he's just like, this kid's a genius, perfect, I'm taking her, she's gonna pass. So Twilight doesn't know that this kid is an experiment, and she has been told never to tell anybody about her abilities by either her parents or whoever created her. She doesn't tell him, but she kind of like uses that to her advantage to either help him or kind of, you know, get what she wants. Or sometimes she just starts like breaking up crying because she hears like him think kind of rude things about her, being like, oh, I'm gonna send her back after this because she is a problem. This is just like it's just super funny, the situations that they get put in, because she's reading his mind, and then she's just like, no, Dad, don't take me back out. Please, I'll be good. After all that, we finally meet the character who is going to be the wife, and her name is Yor, or aka Thorn Princess, as her assassin name is. She's just trying to live a normal life, and she is being just berated by the Karens at her work because she doesn't have a husband or a boyfriend, and apparently that's just such a horrible thing for her to be doing. And it's like, I don't know why you're all up in her love life, because you all seem miserable if you hear that much. And that's very much true in a lot of office settings. I've been there, and a lot of them are middle-aged women who are kind of seem very unhappy in their life. So they keep bantering her, finally like, no, I have a boyfriend. Yeah guys, I have a boyfriend. And they're like, oh really? Then bring him to my party. So you're just a bitch, dude. These ladies are just jealous of her, and it's like,
jealousy is a disease, I get what I'm saying.
So Twilight and Yor happen to kind of run into each other at a tailor shop, and Twilight's impression was kind of like staring at her because she managed to get past him without him knowing. So he's like, am I losing my touch, or what's going on? So when she's like, what are you staring at? He's like, oh, you're so pretty, like, kind of like to get to know you. And she's thinking he's like married because he has this kid with him. They end up being able to make an agreement to kind of pretend to be each other's boyfriend, wife for all these different situations. They do not tell each other like what the actual purpose is, or you know, like what the actual occupation both of them happen to have is. It's pretty like funny to kind of watch how they have to like navigate the lies of their careers to each other because they don't want to like admit what's actually happening. And my favorite part of this whole book is when they actually do have to go do the school meeting. The people are kind of already watching them and like eliminating, as seeing how they are just even walking into the building, and they set up like a bunch of different like scenarios that could really like make or break if they're gonna choose these people. And the main like headmaster is just like, oh, they're just handling everything with such elegance, like I need to know this family. And they almost got disqualified for like helping a kid because they got their suits and like everything dirty. But then it's like Twilight and all, and like the family's like, but we brought a change of clothes, we prepared for the situation. So that happens like 3 times, and I just have like 3 outfit changes, and it just like, it cracks me up. And the interview thing you don't find out if she ends up getting through, but there's like also a dude in there, he's just a jerk, asking such mean questions, trying to like make sure this family does not get into the school for whatever reason. In that scene, you see Twilight almost break because he's starting to realize he does care about this family and is starting to kind of see it as a legitimate thing, starting to like simp for his family. So how interesting was the story? I honestly find it really interesting. I think it's a very unique concept. I don't like a lot of like spy action stuff. I like action, like fighting scenes and stuff like that. But the way they do it, it's such a good balance of being funny, having cute moments, and then also having just like I feel like the right amount of action for what it is. Did I enjoy it or did it bore me? Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I binged through this. It was super good. It's super cute. It's funny. It's an easy read. Honestly, I definitely would recommend it. I mean, just look at this. Look at how cute. Ooh, I also forgot to mention who wrote it. So we have Tasia Endo. You know, I tried. Do I think this will get an anime adaptation? Honestly, I 100% think it will. It is a Shonen Jump. Most of the time, they always get an adaptation anyways. But honestly, I think this is super good and I would definitely like to see it. I'd like to see like, you know, certain scenes actually like play out. So I think that'd be really exciting. I'd like to hear, like, I have like a vision in my head what I think like the voice actors that they choose would sound like. So I'm interested to see if I would be right in that sense. Overall, I would rate this an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. I would definitely get the next volume. So that's really good. Definitely recommend. Alright, the next one we have is How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift? So, and it is written by Yabako Sandrovich, and the art is by a man. So, I love that. Do you even lift at the top? Amazing. Hibiki is a teenage girl who loves to eat. Not teenage girls, but I do love to eat. But she notices her waistline is expanding. Girl, relatable. She decides to check out the little gym. The gym is full of buff dudes, and Akimi, student council president. So Akimi, the student council president, I guess that's right. When Akimi tries to convince Hibiki to take up weight training, Hibiki resists until she meets a pretty boy trainer, Machio. Now, Hibiki is willing to do whatever it takes to get fit. I'm gonna geek out about this because this book is seriously such a great, funny, edgy, educational book. And it does such a good job. Like, they cite their sources, like this is like an English teacher's dream. So like they have actual, like, you know, proving where they got their information. I didn't know. I mean, part of my YouTube name is Kilos, and that's because like, my other passion is weight training, lifting weights, powerlifting, bodybuilding, that kind of stuff. I love fitness and health, so that's where that part of my name actually comes from. I'm just gonna be like geeking out about this for a minute, so I will actually leave a time frame. If you just aren't interested in like health, fitness stuff, I know this is probably for a very niche type of an audience. First off, I was smiling ear to ear to see them using the actual medical terms for the body parts. So you have your zoids, you have your foraminal bronchi, you have your biceps bronchi. It's just so good. I love the legitimate terms on that. I love how it also talks about like a bit of proper nutrition, and they even explain like the difference between like fried, steamed, what you should be eating, why you shouldn't just be eating a huge meal because it has something, you know, that has to do with your insulin. You don't want it to be like making a massive spike all the time. So ideally eating like 6 smaller meals a day. I mean, that's not for everybody. Even sometimes I don't do that, but I do find it's easier on your digestive tract to do that and to me, it just like, it makes you feel like you're eating a lot more throughout the day if you do kind of split it up into smaller meals. So I love that they go over that. They go over cheat days and how it can actually benefit you if you are in a cut or diet. But honestly, I would recommend more of a cheat meal than a cheat day. And also, I'm a huge advocate for macros, because every day I can fit in, like, I could fit in a candy bar every single day if I wanted to, and I would still be on track for my weight loss goals. And to me, that's just a more balanced lifestyle if you do that, but that's for a different video. I just love that it goes over proper form. A huge round of applause and thank you for mentioning that bench press, you do put an arch in your back. You know, that's just a big, like, fuck you to all you, like, middle-aged Garys who, my bench 205 in high school, the kind of guys who like to come at, especially it seems like females, for benching wrong. So, fuck you. Another thing, they also go over how your wrist should be in your bench press, and I'm just like, thank you. I feel like that's such an important thing to know how to actually hold the barbell to help prevent injury and to actually make the motion work. I feel like it's just such a thing that doesn't get talked about enough, but it's a huge important thing that you do need to know. So that they acknowledge the fact, you know, that beginners, it's okay to start somewhere. I feel like also, you know, the initial like reaction when she sees like all the buff dudes, I feel like that's an accurate representation of what I feel like a lot of people think going into a weight room. Like, it's gonna be full of so many just bodybuilders and I'm not gonna stand a chance and I'm just gonna look stupid. And it is intimidating to go into a weight room when you really don't know what you're doing. So sometimes it's important to, you know, have a plan or work with a trainer if you can to kind of get you adjusted to it. But I do love that they talk about, you know, hey, everyone starts somewhere and at least you're doing something. So that's huge. I also love that they discuss that your weight will more than likely go up when you start lifting, because once you start putting on muscle, there's a thing called body recomposition, and your body will start shaping out better than you think, and you will start kind of getting like an X shape, which is like the ideal like bodybuilding one. So you have like bigger shoulders, and like more bigger shoulders and like legs you have, the smaller you'll make your waist look, on top of actually losing weight in your stomach and your midsection. It's also very important, and I'm so glad, like I wasn't sure if they were going to actually mention it because it kind of took a while in the book. And there was like some things that I didn't like love, that they're like, oh yeah, do crunches and all that, and you know, that's how you're gonna like slim out your stomach. Or they also mention that like squats will slim out your legs. That's not true. If anything, your legs are probably gonna get bigger, and like they could get more like lean, but they're not going to slim. Your legs will not slim from squatting. If anything, again, you're gonna put muscle on, and they're gonna probably look bigger or look different. More than likely, they're gonna be bigger. Like, even look at people who are naturally skinny that put on muscle, their legs get bigger. During your first year of training, you will get a thing called movie gains. Now in the book, that, you know, because at one point Habichi is scared, like, I'm gonna get too muscular, I'm gonna look stupid, and then Akemi is like, you're never gonna put on too much muscle, I promise. The people that you're referring to are people that have put years and years of time, dedication, and also just their genetics in general, put all that time and effort and work into it. So they worked hard to have that, or even a lot of the times there are PEDs put into it, which are steroids. So sometimes they're not even super realistic body types to be having. The thing that I do want to point out is in the squat they say, like, you know, your knees don't go over your toes. It is fine if your knees go over your toes a bit. That has been like an actual common misconception. So I'm not saying like your knees should be like flying completely over your toes, but if it does, it's not the end of the world, and sometimes you actually have to if you want to go beyond parallel. If you're going to parallel, then yeah, your knees probably aren't going to. But if you're going to be doing kind of like they do in powerlifting, where it's pretty much your butt needs to be touching the ground because you have to break parallel, you are probably gonna go over your knees just a bit. Also, I'm so glad that they mentioned dynamic stretches and how important they actually are. So really even started to learn that when I started getting to like powerlifting. Dynamic stretches are huge and way more important. You do not want to be just, you know, stretching cold, because you could actually injure yourself doing that. So dynamic stretches, it should be like about a 10 to 15 minute, almost mini workout. You are going to be needing to raise your body temperature, and you're going to be doing stretches where you are going to kind of be like, you want to already kind of start working the muscles you are planning to work and start getting them warmed up and ready to go. So like if I'm doing deadlifts, I will do RDLs, also do some rows to warm up my back and my legs, because those are going to be my primary things for my deadlift. You should be sweating and starting to feel like a burn. You should start feeling like, okay, I feel like I just did a workout. Not like an intense workout, but it should still feel like you already kind of did a workout. And when you are new and just starting, you will feel like, oh my god, now I don't even want to work out. So it is important to learn, like, you do not want to be doing any heavy weights to warm up. At most 3 to 5 pound even dumbbells, and I use that for like warming up for bench and any upper body work. So keep that in mind. If you have any more questions on that stuff, please feel free to message me. This is a thing I love. I considered being a personal trainer, but I never did. But I do still actively do my research, and I have been in fitness for years. Now, I'm sorry for going on that kind of tangent, but oh my gosh, it gets so funny. I mean, they mentioned like the power of youth. There is a teacher who is wanting to get in shape so she can cosplay. I mean, this book is fantastic. I was dying. I could not stop reading it. And they like point out how like just stupid it looks. You always have Machu just like breaking his clothes, or how it's always like weird with like how the girls are for when they're like showing the forms. Like, this book is so good, and man, I wish I gained weight the same way that Habichi is, because like I would not even be mad. It's also just so funny because like she's like may not be strong in like doing like, you know, squats and all that, but she does like a boxing thing and she's just like super strong. She punches like the thing out the window. It's so funny. She has like such funny facial expression. So I just think it's hilarious that Akemi has a muscle fetish. I just think this is honestly just incredible that it even came out and is a thing in Japan, because I know that our body like beauty standards are quite different. So I love that we are promoting muscles are awesome, muscles are cool, eating right is cool, being healthy is cool. Saying like you have to have this, and you're definitely not gonna be looking like these girls unfortunately. But it's just so good. It's also just a great one in like, I mean, come on, you can't beat pretty cool, hot, strong guys and girls, because I got them anime titties and a nice booty. Like, even I'm jealous of them. I just feel like they really cover such good topics and things in here in such a funny and even sensual way, but they almost kind of like make fun of it. I just think it's so good. Like, I feel like it is definitely for the right crowd. There's like 2 types of crowds I feel like this is for. Either one, you are really into fitness and you think it's really cool, or you really want to learn it, or 2, you're just here to look at that. And either way is fine. But I just think it's a really good one. So, how interesting is this story? I personally think this story is super interesting and super unique concept that I'm so glad that they brought to manga and anime. I love it, and I think it's so cool how we are promoting the right way to work out and promoting the right way to eat and fuel your body, but they're doing it in such a way that it's not boring. It doesn't like feel like you're learning anything, but you are learning so much, and I seriously love this. It's amazing. I definitely am going to be getting the next one. I just think it's fantastic. Did I enjoy it? Did it bore me? It did not bore me at all. I was dying laughing and like just like throwing my fist up in the air, being so excited that they were educating in the citing sources and the proper midterms. Like, everything is so good to me, and that's because it is something I am so passionate about and something I love so much. So getting to actually see that and portrayed in such a way, combining two things I love, which is anime and fitness, it couldn't be any better. I think it'll get an anime adaptation, or if it has one, will I be watching it? I know it does have one, and I will 100% be watching it. I plan on doing more videos about it, and maybe even like doing reactions to them. I can't wait to watch it, but I know it does take a more ecchi route, so kind of planning how to watch it will be interesting. Overall rating is, for people who love fitness, this is a 9 out of 10. If you're not into fitness, I honestly don't know if this would be the one for you. Honestly, I would still just like humor-wise rate it at like a 7.5 out of 10, but to me this is like a 9 out of 10. But it's because it's something that I'm like, it's combining things I am so passionate about, and they did it in such a good way. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the first edition of the monthly manga. If you have read any of these, or you have any suggestions, because I would even be willing to do one based on just suggestions from you guys, let me know down in the comments. If you are interested in this type of content or any just anime content, please go ahead and subscribe to keep up with all the videos I have planned, because I got some good ones coming, and they're just kind of in the works right now, but it's gonna be like, I have some really good ones that I'm very excited about. Definitely gonna keep doing the monthly mangas, and I'm also, if this gains enough traction, then I definitely would be willing to, if like there was a manga I really was just like, wow, this is trash, and anybody happens to want it, I would be totally willing to do kind of like a giveaway and send that to you guys if it's something that I either really didn't like, or even if it's something that I did like but just don't have the room for. So just gains traction, you might want to like let your friends know about this video, because you could possibly get some of the mangas that I have been going over, and I'll send it to you free of charge. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.